Interruptions, it depends on what kind, right? So sometimes you get interruptions where the person's whole goal, like, there's some people who are jokesters that do come on Clubhouse, and their point is to interrupt rooms. There is that. Then I don't see that many lately, but there was a time where people would just come into the room, and they would bug the room, and there would be like all sorts of things happening, and then just repeat curse words and whatnot. There is that. There's the interruption where the person may feel passionate about what you're talking about, and then they speak out of turn. Like, say if you were going in PTR order and then someone jumps in, um, and so not really respecting the rules of the room. And so there's that kind of interruption. uh, and so how you handle both, I think, if someone comes in and they're obviously disrupting, then it's quick, you can just kick them out the room directly. If someone comes in and they're speaking out of turn, you can definitely you know um, take that, and and gently, right, correct them into like, hey, we're going in PTR order. I think so and so is next. And there's times where the person jumps in, and because what the comment that they were making was relevant to the conversation, I do let it pass. So it can be up to your judgment and how to handle that situation. If you obvious, it can be like where you could see that the person is rude, or it can be that you can see that the person had a good point to make regarding the continuation of the conversation. And yeah, so I think in those cases, it should be allowed, that is still bringing value to the room. um, Now, of course, the moderators, for in my room, the moderators are free to speak, and so they can, of course, jump in whenever they feel called. So it really is how it is that you are managing the room itself. Like you said, how did you decide to manage the room, and if everyone else is aware of this, and even if someone new comes in, then you can still let them know gently in a polite way, and that won't hurt anyone's feelings. um, and still keep the room professional, and still like professional, but in an organic way. So yeah, again, not just two type of interruptions. There's others, but I just wanted to point those out.
Yeah, I really, really am appreciating what you're saying, Widgeby, and what you offered, Katie, as well, when you were talking about interruptions. Um, one of the things that I have found to be very, very true, at least specifically for me when I run rooms, is the level of interruptions or the amount of interruptions that a room receives really is dependent upon how the primary moderator holds the space of the room. And what I mean by that is that, when I run rooms, I tend to be very, very clear. So I will repeat myself often. If I say, okay, we're going to welcome Denise up to the stage. Hey, Denise, when you come here, make sure you go ahead and mute your mic. And we are going in PTR order. Again, welcome to the stage. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon. And then immediately getting back to what we were talking about, or who the next person in PTR order is. And there's something about your ability to hold that space, and to hold that boundary, and to hold that, to really, really hold that expectation. And I think sometimes there's there's a real desire to, quote unquote, not make people feel bad. However, when I open up rooms and I'm very clear about what my intention is for that particular room, it becomes my responsibility to hold the space and to guide the direction of the conversation, or to, to guide the direction of whatever it is that's happening. And so if that does mean that I will say, hey, um, I'm really appreciating what you're saying right now, but that's not really the topic that we're on. I'd love to stick to the topic that we're on, and I'd love to have, maybe Stacy maybe add something to what you have added that is a part of the topic, and then redirecting the conversation that way. Um, or if, I mean, obviously you can't do anything about people being disruptive. I've actually never really had that happen. I've been in other rooms where it's happened, but I've never had that happen in any of my rooms. Um, but it's about being very, it's about being very clear. um in one of my earlier rooms, I had a young lady that came to the stage, and she was very opinionated about something that was the opposite of what I was talking about. And while I love the idea of dealing with things in the back channel, I also think that it's important to allow your audience to see you hold that space and to see you hold that boundary. So on the stage, I told her, I was like, well, let me be clear. That is not the belief system of this particular space. And if that's what you believe, then this is definitely not going to be the stage for you. And I was clear. I was like, I'm here to offer X, Y, and Z information. I'm not here to debate. So if you are looking for a debate, this is not the stage for you. And when I did that, on the surface, for some people it seemed harsh, but I got so many DMs and so many messages about, what, I thank you for doing that. It was really, I was getting confused. Thank you so much for holding that boundary. So I think when it comes to interruptions, it's being able to hold that space and being okay with that space. And then I did have a question about number 6, Katie, when you were talking about the pulse check. And I was going to ask if you could give us an example of a one-word pulse check. And I thank you for offering that, because I have popped into rooms where they had these, it was like purple, blue, and orange circles. And because I didn't know what was going on, I left the room because I thought I had entered some kind of like cult room or something. And it freaked me out. So, but I would love if you can offer an example of what a one word pulse check would be. I think that.
Yeah, what I mean by that is I'm just gonna give like a food example. So like I could say cheesecake or chocolate cake, and then now go. Like now we'll go around and then you answer me. We can just try and do that right now. So would you be if you want to go for it? Cheesecake or chocolate cake? Hi, Sandra.
Cheesecake. Hi, cheesecake.
So yeah, I think that one is just it's more like okay, oh, like are you all still here with me, and